All right, a story we haven't touched on that I thought was interesting and garnered some news. So this is back from early June. June 10th is this Eater article. But basically, the Alinea Group, brought to fame by Grant Achatz and Nick Kokonas, uttered its Fulton Market live fire restaurant fire after less than a year. So this is a restaurant that replaced Royster. If you've never been to Royster, it was very popular. It was well liked. I went there a couple times and loved it. But I did also get to eat at fire, and I'll give you the story, then I'll give you my little thoughts on it and my own analysis. So if we're looking at this Eater article, basically the fire, which focused on wood fire techniques and elemental cooking, closed, they say, due to unsustainable rent hikes. Basically, rent was a big factor in them not being able to be viable in this location. So the claim in the article by the group is that it didn't have anything to do with poor reviews, but rather it was purely tied to real estate, according to CEO Jason Weingarten. Like I said, from 2016 when it opened to now, the rent has increased 500 to 600%. And CEO Jason Weingarten points to recent openings in the neighborhood, mentioning that they have more tables and seats, and he adds that their space is hamstrung by a large kitchen, which it is if you've ever been in an Oyster. It's an open, large kitchen where it would benefit from more space for seats. He says additional tables are more important to restaurants, especially as customers' habits have shifted since the pandemic. With fewer people going to dinner late at night, restaurants need more room for customers during prime hours earlier in the day. Very important topic. I think this is something you see this in the Chicago market, the New York market. So a lot of customers aren't going out as late to eat as they used to, and you see this influx during these prime hours of so many people wanting a table. And this is the economics of building a restaurant. This is what we talked about last week with that policy on charging when people don't show up. You not only now need to understand how to build a affordable menu, but how to build out a dining room that is able to accommodate the business you need to succeed as a restaurant. So Weingarten maintains that fire is delicious, and it comes in and at a price point that's really unique for this market. And I will agree with that. I believe the tasting menu was like $135 or something, and it was like 7 courses. I believe. I'd have to go back and look. I remember like wanting to taste fire and looking up reservations, seeing the tasting menu and messaging my friend, wow, this is actually really affordable for an Alinea Group restaurant tasting menu. And then you can basically see, he goes on to say, you can see fire as a concept that would work well in the Middle East, work well in Europe, would work well in the winter or at a resort. He says that the Alinea Group will likely announce at least one new restaurant, perhaps 2 by the end of the year. That wouldn't necessarily happen in Chicago, even though Weingarten says there have been talks between 3 local entities. It's important to note that Royster was Alinea's most casual restaurant, which was before fire, making the brand accessible to a wide audience. It closed in November, and its subterranean companion, St. Clair Supper Club, which occupied the restaurant's basement, followed. Basically, then they go on to say that there's a lot going on with Next. One of them is Chef Grant Achatz' use of ChatGPT is reminiscent of a role-playing game where players invent a character. He created Jill, a fictional cook, and fed the platform details, including work history and family background. In turn, the AI bot spat out recipes showcasing Jill's personal and professional influences. The dishes will comprise the 2026 menu at Next. And then, he pushes back on the issues they've had with AI. So, fire closes. You would think a restaurant group like Alinea would be able to manage for much longer, but I think it's a really big lesson for any restaurateurs out there that you really need to have your dining room mapped out. I do personally think that reviews or the concept itself had flaws. I'll go into that next. So when we went to dinner there, it started out really strong and it was very cool. You see the live fire, you see the smoke, you see all of that, and it's something where it's like memorable and you're like, okay, I can get down with this. This is going to be really good. And by the end of it, you start to see that it's just too much. We got to some courses where the food was just too much smoke. I remember at the end there was an ice cream, and I if I remember it correctly, the server had basically said that they had thrown like an ash log or a burning ember into the ice cream base, and so there was like a smoky sweet dessert. And by this time, there had been so much smoke filled food that you've consumed that your palate was like, my palate was pretty shot. And so after eating this ice cream, when I went to go eat this ice cream, I was looking for a reprieve of sweetness to get away from the smoky, the onslaught of smoke that just like kept hitting me. And this ice cream tasted like it had liquid smoke in it, and it didn't. It was just from that log. And on its own, I would have loved it. I thought it would have been cool. but I just thought that the dinner composition altogether was just too much. It was very much smoke heavy, and after a whole course of eating foods that were just like filled with like this smoky flavor and aroma, my palate was shot. Some of my diners, like some of my guests at the dinner table, just weren't really about it. They felt overwhelmed. I appreciated a lot of the courses, but at the end of the day, I just think it was too much. And it was just another lesson. You know, he goes on about how this concept would work in different parts. I think the concept would work. I just think it was approached in a way that was so demanding of the consumer to like take on all this aggressive and focused smoke flavor. So just something that I think is important to note as we work through all of this. So that being said, you know, unfortunate to see. I'm very interested to see what the Alinea group does. I'm very interested to see I'm going to try to go to that next AI bot dinner. I would like to go attend that. I think that's something that's worthy to go look at and see how it's perceived. But yeah, Fire was not my favorite. I liked Royster more personally. I commend Chef Ackett's and team for trying something new, and I was actually very excited for the concept. I just thought it was very, very targeted. I know the name is Fire, but it really felt like the name should have been Smoked because it was just so much. And I hope that they keep a live fire restaurant going. Royster was great. There were many great components of this. I just think maybe not as much concentrated smoke flavor would be the way to go for them. That's just one podcaster's opinion. Would love to hear if you all went. If you've been to Fire, if you went there, if you ate at Royster, would love to hear your thoughts.